Good morning, and welcome to Bad Bat Hikes. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the 10 things that I learned when I was on my Shakedown hike at Land Between the Lakes for the AT. Number 1 on the list is bring sunscreen. I, for some reason, was in the mindset of, oh, it's cold, I won't need sunscreen, and I definitely know better than that. I didn't get burned, but I did get pretty pink, and if I were on trail for even a couple of days longer, I would have been burnt to a crisp. So bring sunscreen. Thing 2 that I learned on my Shakedown hike is I need to switch out my camp shoes. These did not work very well for me. You can see they're very dirty. I was walking in the mud with them at camp, but here's the thing. They're great. These are the Zero sandals. They're not cheap, and I got them specifically for the AT, but I realized that you have to, it's a strappy sandal. So every time I got out of my tent, whether it was to hang my food bag or whatever at night, I'd have to strap my ankle in, and it takes forever. And in my 2 nights out there, I was already annoyed. So these have got to go. So I'm switching them out for these. Cheapo pair of knockoff Birkenstocks. They're made out of plastic. They're kind of like a crocky material. I just got them from Walmart, I think 2 summers ago. But it's you can slip on. I can just slip into these and go. They've been my yard shoes forever, but they're gonna be my camp shoes now. And they weigh almost exactly the same as my Zero sandals. So, switching these out. Thing 3 that I learned is my headphones, my bone induction headphones that I'm bringing last a day and a half with constant use without charging. So that's pretty good because I was listening to music and audiobooks on these things for 12 hours because I was walking by myself on day 1, and then they lasted till about 2 o'clock. So that's another 6 or so hours on day 2. So this battery life is pretty darn good. I went with the bone induction so I could hear my surroundings and listen to my music at the same time because I can't do the 1 in, 1 out due to being completely deaf in my left ear. So day and a half. So I need to charge those about every other day. Thing 4 that I learned is how to use my paca and a few complications with my umbrella. So on my 3rd day hiking on my Shakedown hike at LBL, I did have to break out the paca. This is essentially a poncho jacket combo that goes over both your pack and all of you. It does have sleeves just like a jacket. It just has a little bump out for your pack in the back. But I learned that I put this on when it was sprinkling. I cannot reach my umbrella. You can't get it out of your pack once you already have the pack on. So it started downpouring rain, and I couldn't reach my umbrella, which is really unfortunate because I do love my umbrella. So I am going to still start with my umbrella. This is still going to be a thing. I just need to be aware that if it's raining or if there's a chance of rain, I need to make sure that my umbrella is accessible to me before I put my paca on, because it is still nice to use this and the paca combined to really stay dry. Thing 5 that I learned on my Shakedown hike is be happy that you have a brightly colored pack. I ran into a situation where a couple of gentlemen were out hunting in a place that they shouldn't be hunting. So I was really happy that I had a bright red backpack and a bright orange bandana hanging on me so I could be seen from far away from people who are doing things that they shouldn't be doing. So I'm extraordinarily happy that Six Moon Designs was out of the blue color I originally wanted, and I went for the red instead. So brightly colored things, always good to have on you. Thing 6 that I learned on my Shakedown is that all camp pillows suck. I have tried a couple. This is my Nemo pillow, which was my like heavy, this one's better than the rest option, and I still had lots of issues with it. It just like, this part is so slick on the bottom, it just kept sliding around my pad, and I did like stuff it with clothes, but it was like a little lumpy, and it just kept moving, and it's too heavy to not work. And I know some people really like it, and good for them, but it's not working for me. So that is like the third pillow I've tried. So we're trying another one. I'm taking, I got a Trekology pillow 2.0, so it's their second version, and we're gonna give this one a try. So it is an inflatable pillow. It's big, which I'm really excited about. And I'm also excited, this is almost the entire reason I got it. It has a strap on the back, so it could like strap onto your sleeping pad. So in theory, it's not going to move. And it also has these little like grippy dots, kind of like the grippy socks you get sometimes. So that's also supposed to help prevent slippage, and it does feel very nice. It's not like extra soft. I might like put a buff around it or something as like a pillowcase at night, but we're gonna see if Trekology breaks my rut of not liking my pillows, or maybe I just don't like camping pillows. That could be a real possibility, but we're gonna see if this one works. Thing 7 is make sure your trekking poles are tightened before you leave. The bottom chunk of my black diamond trekking poles, so this bit right here, I didn't have this tight enough. You can adjust it, there is a point. I don't carry a screwdriver with me. I did have a little Swiss Army knife with like a nail file with like a flattened edge that you're supposed to be able to use as a like flathead screwdriver. I did try to use that. I just couldn't get it tight enough. So this bit, whenever I was walking and I would stumble or like put pressure on it to like step over something, this would collapse in on itself. So that's the opposite of what that's supposed to do. And it made me a little hesitant to like use it to its full ability while I was going. So I'm definitely going to make sure that these are tightened down, and then hopefully I'll be able to use that Swiss Army knife if worst comes to worst to get things tightened. So make sure your trekking poles are tightened before you leave. Thing 8 on my list is I broke a button on my quilt. So I have a 0 degree Outdoor Vitals top quilts, but at the top, as you can see, there's like a draft collar and you can like cinch it, but there is a button that you can pop together like so. Oh, if I can even get it to close. There it goes. So you can get it to close, and you could like cinch this shut so it like keeps your quilt around you while you sleep at night. But when I pull this apart, this bit comes off about half the time. Like it stays stuck in the other side. And I'm not trying to be super rough with it, but that did pop off several times, and that's going to be an issue if I'm trying to be gentle and it's still breaking. So I got me some Gorilla Glue, and I'm just going to put a dab, like I'm going to pop this up purposefully and put a dab underneath here and maybe underneath there as well to try to hold that down so I can buckle and release it like without fear of it breaking, because that's a pretty critical feature of this quilt when it's really cold and you're trying to keep all of the heat inside. So I need to get that fixed up ASAP. Oh, see? There it goes. It popped off. And I barely pulled it. So it stays on the other side. So here, I'll just put glue on it right now and we'll fix it. We'll fix it right now. So we'll see if that does any good. If not, I'm going to be very sad because I love this quilt. Thing 9, The crazy phone protector I got is way too heavy and extreme overkill. So in my mind, I'm like, yes, I need to get what is essentially like an OtterBox situation for my phone while I'm out there, because it's going to be so rainy and I'm going to drop it. I'm going to do all of this. But the one I ordered is like, it feels like it's almost as heavy as my battery bank. Like, it is so heavy once I get my phone in there. So there's like a glass protector and you like screw it in with like a rubber back, and there's like a camera protector, and it's all fine and dandy. I don't even have all of it. Here's the back. Like, this is metal, and it was just so heavy. On my Shakedown, I felt like a crazy person because I was having to like tap like a million times just to like take a picture or like get on a different app or something, because that glass and then your touch screen, it wasn't great. So lesson learned, you don't need a crazy overkill case that weighs a ton. I'm just going to stick with my normal case and hope things go okay. If I do end up smashing my phone, we'll go from there. But I'm not carrying this monstrosity to begin with. So away it goes. The last thing on my 10 things that I learned on my Shakedown hike, and I just have this as like a prop, is I need to bring more stuff to deal with blisters. I've never had an issue with blisters before this trip. I had 3 blisters, 1 on each of my big toes and 1 on one of my small toes, and they didn't hurt, but they were decently big after only 1 day. And I wrapped them up, and the stuff I used to wrap them wasn't great. I definitely need to bring moleskin, like the on-brand moleskin, to wrap up my toes or ankle or heel, whatever ends up getting a blister on it, because now I know they're bound to happen to my feet, and I need to bring more wipes to sterilize the area before I pop and clean them. So, lesson learned, I need to beef up my med kit just a little bit more with specific things that I know I'm going to need on trail. Can we all observe that my cat is now taking a nap on my quilt? Kitty, that's my quilt. Oh dear, we'll just let her take a nap on there, I guess. All right, so those were the 10 things that I learned on my AT Shakedown hike. Hopefully I can make the small adjustments needed before I head out very, very soon. I'm leaving this week in real time. It's going to be very delayed for videos. I am delaying these quite a bit to keep myself safe and to give myself enough time to edit and upload them once I do get out on trail. So there is going to be a bit of delay, but I'm getting really excited to leave for my trip very, very soon. So if you want to follow along on my journey, don't forget to subscribe here on YouTube. And I also have an Instagram account under the same name, Bad Bat Hike. So give me a follow there if you'd like to follow along. And in the meantime, happy trails.